This part is a little awkward.
Maybe what the thing we left out was not long enough. I think we need to start this all over again.
Okay. Hi yarn friends, it's Ellen here at Yarn Doc, and I'm doing something different today. Obviously, I have Mr. Yarn Doc, or as he prefers, Dr. Yarn Doc, but I call him Handsome Husband. He's here because I got a knitting machine from Temu. This is how it arrived, because, you know, Temu ships everything in a bag, even if it's a box. So it's a little mashed, it's a little mangled, but I paid under 11 euros for this knitting machine. So Handsome Hubby over here is here to help me figure out how to set it up, get it going, while I talk to you lovely people. So we're going to pull it out of the box and see what we see. We've got the top down ready to go so you can see from both angles. And we're going to try it out, right?
Sure.
Okay, so we've opened the box, but we haven't opened the box. It does say not suitable for children under 36 months. So no toddlers playing with the knitting machine. And to be used under the direct supervision of an adult. So I have my adult here to supervise me. It makes it look like a toy, but this is the same box that if you bought a Sentro anywhere that you would see, at least from the way I research. At least from my research. I don't think it matters what way I researched. Okay, so I've got stuff falling out. I'm gonna let the adult, here it says 8+, so I guess from 36 months to 8, you're in a little bit of no man's land. Ooh. Turn it, okay. Okay. So according to this, it's supposed to have different tensions on a tensioner. Make a hat, a scarf, a knitted hat. What other kind of hat would you make on a knitting machine? That seems unnecessary to say. 2 modes, panel knitting and tube knitting. It comes with circular knitting needles, looks like darning hooks, and some yarn apparently. So let's see what we have in here.
A user manual.
A user manual. That's good. That's for you. And instructions. Loop knitting and plain knitting. Here, honey, you can learn to knit. Typical man. Instructions, puts them to the side. But he's very good with IKEA furniture. We often call him IKEA man. So I figured he was the right person for this job. This looks like installation instructions. You might want those. So here are the knitting needles. They feel pretty good, actually. No idea what size they are. But not so nice there. You've got quite a lip on those. See what I'm learning about knitting already? Okay, we'll put those over there. We've got some little skeins of yarn. 3, though I think the box says 4. Yeah, the box says 4. So we're missing the green unless it's shoved in somewhere we can't see at the moment. So we only have 3 of the 4 skeins of yarn right now. They just feel like a basic value acrylic, though there are some pretty colors in there.
No green.
No green. Well, I guess you get what you pay for. I didn't pay enough for the green. I wonder if this is supposed to be used as the waste yarn. Maybe. It has to go on the legs or something?
Yep.
No, okay. He's been doing his research, i.e. watching YouTube tutorials. So, from learning from somebody else's, we're going to do our own. It's not really a tutorial. Not really. We're just seeing if what you get from Temu. Now, this is not listed on Temu for, I paid $10.38 or $78. I'll look it up and remember. It's not listed for that. I played some kind of price drop game thing in order to finally get it down to that price. So it took a little bit of watching and a little bit of the Temu nonsense in order to get there. Now I understand these suction cups are important because the machine moves a lot. So that's to hold it stable to the table. And it's one of the reasons I picked this table to do it on instead of our nice wooden table here in the library, is I thought they would suction better to the metal. I've also seen people use like that sticky stuff that's like gum. I've seen people use double-sided tape. We're going to see how it works just with the suction cups themselves. Ooh. It really is like IKEA furniture. Mm-hmm.
It's plastic.
Except plastic, yeah. It's not wood. The pins seem to be plastic too. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Uh-huh. That goes in pretty easily. And 4.
And then it says to put screws in.
It comes with a cute little screwdriver.
Uh-huh.
Show the people the screwdriver.
The screwdriver.
Isn't it cute?
And cute little screws too.
Do they give you enough screws? That's always the question. Or do we have a loose screw? Okay, so they're for the legs. I thought they were these holes.
No,
okay.
No, they're for the legs.
This is why I have tech support today.
You want to turn this off?
Could you do this without tech support? Probably. Would I want to be trying to do this on camera and talk to you at the same time? Probably not. I'm much more confident about DIY projects when I'm not the one doing them. It apart unless it doesn't work. Oh, I didn't get green yarn, but I did get a nice plastic crochet hook that feels like if I use it for any crochet, it will break. Also, no size on it. Oh, no, I lied. But it says it's a 3.75 millimeter. Probably if a stitch drops to pick the stitch up.
Maybe.
I think that's what.
Maybe. Okay. The instructions say it the other way around, like a down tube knit, up plain knit. But if this is installed correctly, then up is tube knit and down would be plain knit.
Okay. Reverse of the instruction book.
Yes. And from what I have seen on YouTube about this, doing my research, with other machines, this starting hook is white and the others have a different color. And here it's black. So okay. I guess this is just to distinguish it from the rest.
Yeah, I would think so.
And they all have little numbers here, so that you can see how many.
Where are the numbers?
Here are the numbers.
Oh, they're tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're old and blind like me, That's going to be challenging.
Yeah, so here we have, this is the starting one, and then we have 40 total. I don't know if there is somewhere in the box.
So we cast it on, we just followed the instructions again and seemed to work out okay. The instructions don't have anything about waste yarn. Though if you watch anybody who uses a knitting machine, they use waste yarn. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to transition from waste yarn to real yarn. But we just decided we'd do up this whole ball first and just see that it's working. And then I will start to play with it. And you will probably start to see knitting machine items in samples and whatnot as I do reviews. I have heard that you have to find a way to sort of pull it down or weigh it down. I've seen people do like little weights or that. And I do see that there's a few places where it's not getting quite under the lip of this, like right here. And I just tuck it. I've just been tucking it under with my finger. I do hear that eventually the yarn itself will be enough to pull it down. So not having anything like that or really having a sense of how the machine works yet, I'm just using my finger to push it if it gets caught. And we're going fairly slowly just to make sure that it's all working and we're getting each stitch. But we're also using the yarn that came with it, so you'd hope that if any yarn worked in the machine, it would be the yarn that came with the machine. Not always the way life works, but you would hope. Enough.
And here we lost something.
Oh yeah, we've lost a stitch here. So you can see early on there was a drop stitch that I didn't notice and didn't pick up. So then we have the sort of fisherman's ladder. But the machine itself seems to work. Seems to do what it is supposed to do. We just need to figure out how to use it to do what we want to do. But it seems you can get a Sentro, a working Sentro, on Temu for around 10 euros. If you play with their shenanigans. I think if you don't want to play the shenanigans, you're going to pay somewhere between 25 and 35 euros for it. For me, that savings was worth the shenanigans, but maybe your time is worth more to you.
And we have reached the end.
And then we're at the end. So how do we take it off of here, hon?
Carefully remove.
Carefully remove. Yes, thank you for that directions. We would like to know how to carefully remove. Okay, that was messy, but it did knit a tube. We need to get better at our technique, but the machine works, and that's what we were testing out today. So, thank you, handsome husband.
You're welcome.
So here I am trying again, trying very hard to get this right. Watched a number of tutorials, but are these drop stitches? They must be. but I don't know how it's happening because I'm standing right here making sure that everything goes, you know, off of these things and under. Also, I'm thinking it's just not made for, whoops, a fine weight yarn. Like I'm using very, very thin weight. So, I don't know. I am not winning at the knitting machine usage. The knitting machine, I think, is fine. I think I got a real bargain from Temu if I could figure out how to work it. But this is looking way too loose for the yarn. And then I can't figure out how this is happening or how to fix it. Okay, I'm going back to YouTube in search of answers, but just checking in. So I sewed up both ends of the tube and put one end into the other so that it was like double thickness. And then I put a little brim, rolled up a little brim, and there we go. There's a hat. It just fits, just fits my 6-year-old's head, but that's who it was for. So I don't know that it will make an adult size hat. That is something to think about. I think there is one size larger. I thought I had bought the big size, but now I don't think I did. So it would make, what am I trying to say? What words would be good? Like a tube scarf you could make with it. You could make headbands with it. And then it also does panels, but I haven't been brave enough to try that because I don't know what I'd do with it. But you probably could do like make 2 panels and then sew them together for a very basic sort of boat neck top. Probably big enough that would fit my very skinny teenage girl. Anyway, I will play with it, but it does seem to work. I think that the issues that I had were user error, beginner, didn't cake up my yarn first, which I should have done because the yarn barf, I think where I did drop some stitches, or that there are like issues with the tension is where it sort of snagged on the yarn, and it was more when I got caught with a little tangle of yarn barf. So that is that. Yes, I moved to my bed to sit and sew it up. I was tired. My back hurt. My shoulders. Too much cranking. Anyway, I bought a working knitting machine on Temu for under 15 euros. So there's that. It took me 3 tries. But third time's the charm, right? Isn't that what they say? So I do finally have a finished object that I did not have to turn back into a cake. And part of that was thinking that I knew how it worked when I didn't. Part of it was figuring out what kind of yarn worked well with the machine and the spacing of the machine. And part of it is the instructions were relatively unhelpful. So there was a lot of trial and error, a lot of watching other people do tutorials about how to use the machine on YouTube that were ultimately helpful. I still can't figure out waste yarn. And so when I did the project that I completed, when I did the hat, I just started with the hat. And I figured it was going to be okay because nobody was ever going to see that first and last row anyway, because it was getting sewed together. So good. What do I think overall? Do I think it was worth it? Yes, I think it was worth it. Would I buy it again? Probably. I don't know how much I will use it. I realize that part of why I do fiber craft, fiber art, is the doing, is the making it with my hands and the motion of it. And I'm very much a process crocheter. I think I am becoming a process knitter. And it's less about that final object, which may be why I tend to be more of a gift crocheter. Well, I haven't gifted any knits yet. Is that it's not really about that final object for me. So the cranking it, especially as I go very slowly and I'm trying to watch every single stitch that it's going through and not dropping, and maybe as the machine and I build more of a relationship, I would trust it and go a little quicker. But I'm just not sure how much I would really enjoy working with a machine. Certainly, if I wanted to make something in a hurry, or I needed a last minute gift or that, I would think it's a viable option. What I paid for it, totally reasonable, totally a good tool to have in my resource kit for that price. Would I have paid full price for it? I probably would have paid full price for it, but then would be sitting here having a very different review. For me, there is nothing wrong with this machine. I think the thicker the yarn is, the better it worked. It's not really a lightweight yarn kind of machine, or at least that was my experience. I don't know how it would handle sort of double or triple threading some of these lighter weight, sport weight, that kind of yarn. That I didn't try because I was nervous enough about one strand on it. It did take me that many attempts. You've seen it. You've been sitting here for a long time if you're listening to me now. And wow, you're a trooper, and I think you're fantastic. Thank you for being here. Do I think it was worth the money? Yes, I think it was worth the money. Will I use it a lot? Probably not. But that doesn't mean that somebody else wouldn't. I didn't brave the panel making, which, as we pointed out, is opposite as what they say in the instruction manual. But did I get a working Sentro from Temu for just over 10 euros? Yes, I did. Yeah, I got a real live Sentro. What I didn't get was my fourth ball of yarn. That seemed like a worthwhile trade-off to me. So that's it. That is the extremely long. Can you get an actual Sentro from Temu for just around 10 euros? The answer is yes, you can. And if you have stuck in here this long, you might as well give it a thumbs up. Give me a laugh at me in the comment section, because I'm certainly laughing at myself at this point. And if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do that. I do make some shorter videos than this. And if you want to just see more content from me, hit the notifications so you don't miss a thing. In the meantime, friends, happy stitching.